Welcome to this Your Daily 180 Bible Study. Thank you for participating in these studies and thank you for encouraging others to do the same. We're talking about redemption through the Bible. We're going to fast forward up to the book of Numbers. I want us to look at some principles there about that time when the children of Israel were in the wilderness wanderings. And one of the principles that we see there is that God demands obedience. He doesn't request obedience, He demands obedience. We must do what God commands us. And there's a second principle that we're going to see over the next few days, and that is we cannot improve on God's system. Now, oftentimes we act as if we can, but we can't. And let me give you a couple of verses that we need to keep in mind. The first one would be Jeremiah chapter 10, verse number 23. We need this verse emblazoned upon our hearts. That verse says, "O Lord, I know the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man who walks to direct his own steps." Now we act like it is. We think to ourselves, "Oh, I know what's best. I know which way I should go. I know," and we even become so arrogant. "I know what's best for the church. I know how the church ought to be organized. I know what someone should do to be saved." Listen, if you do not get that information from God's holy word, you are clueless. You hear people talk sometimes about the answer is within you. The answer is not within you unless you put it there through the study of God's word. The reality is God tells us what He expects, and what He expects is what we should do. God demands obedience, and we cannot improve on His system. Now, with that in mind, I want us to look at Deuteronomy chapter 10, 12 and 13, because when we begin to talk about the idea of obedience, we looked at this passage last week, but I want you to listen to what it is that God expects and why. He says, "And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways and to love Him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of the Lord and His statutes, which I command you today, for your good." He expects us to walk. That's going to be the practice of our life. He expects us to keep His statutes. Get this, Christianity is a law-keeping religion. Not merely law-keeping, but we keep God's law, and ultimately He tells us it's for our good. Join us again tomorrow for your Daily 180.